As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I am joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, a NAC accredited with A grade, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, in association with the African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organize this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies towards self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Today is the 108th edition, 25th March 2023. The topic is a very important topic, and on behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency the Secretary General, ARDO, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Pratik Desai, founder Kissan GPT, Titodi, and to talk on a very important topic, Kissan GPT to Bharat GPT, AI-driven transformation of India led by Agriculture Information Service. That I wish to inform the participants and the speaker that the university regularly conducts two webinar series nationally, namely National Webinar Series on Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022, Atmanirbhar Bharat in Agriculture, on every Thursday, and International Webinar Series on Open Source Digital Technologies towards Self-Reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, on every Saturday. Under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, namely Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, have organized 107 lectures so far, and the list is very long, and it is all the topics are of important relevance for today's problem solving. This can facilitate lot of agri-tech startups and tech startups in various sectors very effectively, and this is what the university is doing it. To start with that, first we started with open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure, free and open source software adoption and business model, technology imperative, make in India for self-reliance, edge artificial intelligence, and then also you can see that data governance for self-reliant India, Digital India, transforming governance and society, India's email service, citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized languages, ecosystem architecture for digital transformation, ecosystem architecture for digital transformation, seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in digital world for self-reliant economy, entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways, technology investment in agriculture, role of foreign direct investment, digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India, digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, Indian MSME to adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, health informatics network value chain, and so on and so forth. That 107 webinars have been have talked about relevant needs for solutions development. And also that we talked about during the last 5 webinars, I will list it out, agri-entrepreneurship, an opportunity in India, and golden era for Indian startups. Why? An overview. biodegradable edible packaging for enhanced shelf life of perishable goods. India loses around $119 billion worth of agriculture commodities. It's a perishable, due to perishability, and forces shaping future automotive and farm products, sustainability, innovation, and technology convergence, accelerating digital adoption and data driven, a rural cloud initiative last week. That is on 107th edition. And you can see that one talk by Dr. Shankar Venugopal is the vice president from Mahindra. He talked on 4th March in this webinar series, forces shaping future automation and farm products, sustainability, innovation, and technology convergence. These are all the forces which is shaping future, farm products. And then we had a talk by Mr. Venki Swaminathan. He is a co-founder and chief technology officer, Trilogy Networks, from Colorado, USA, on 11th March, on a very important topic, accelerating digital adoption and data-driven, a rural cloud initiative as operationalized in rural America. And today's topic is Kissan GPT to Bharat GPT, AI-driven transformation of India led by Agricultural Information Service, by our guest speaker, Dr. Pratik Desai. And India is said to be a land of villages. Acharya Vinoba Bhave said India is largely an agriculture country, Krishi Pradhan Desh, and a country of villages having more than 6.25 lakh villages. Agriculture is the main source of food, employment, and income for 70 to 80% of the people suffering from hunger in developing countries. And farmers of India are facing multidimensional problems: price fluctuation, debt, lack of infrastructure, weather-related information, advisories. Indian farming community comprises of about 14.5 crores operational holdings, of which 85% farmers have small and marginal size operational holdings. They need timely, location-specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production, risk, and then market their produce to identified market opportunities. Many national level programs such as Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, Stand Up India have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, that too at the small and marginal farmers. I also would like to quote our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, what he said at the 7th Governing Council meeting of Niti Aayog held on 7th August 2022. In his opening address, he said, I quote, the need to focus on modernized agriculture, animal husbandry, and food processing to become self-reliant and global leader in the agriculture. And in the closing remarks, he said, I quote, each state should focus on promoting trade, tourism, and technology via every Indian mission around the world. The states must focus on reducing imports, increasing exports, and identifying opportunities thereof. I also would like to quote, which is very relevant for today's topic, the recommendations from the Doubling Farmers' Income by 2022 report 2018, popularly known as Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee report. I was closely associated with this report. I was the group leader for 2 volumes, volume 11. And today we're talking about Agriculture Information Service. The volume 11 talks about empowering the farmers through extension and knowledge dissemination through ICT. And volume 12B talks about digital technology in agriculture. It is 7 mission mode programs, which is very important for operationalization. And number 1 is digitalized agriculture. Digital technology and innovation in agriculture by synergizing various government schemes, both the central and state. Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, and Startup India programs for transformational reforms in agriculture sector through smart irrigated farming, smart rainfed farming, and smart tribal farming, and digitalized agromet advisories and agricultural risk management solutions, and digitalized agricultural resources information system and micro level planning for achieving smart village and smart farming. Fourth is digitalized value chain for 400 agriculture commodities. We have 127 agroclimatic zone, 365 days sunshine, and 400 agriculture commodities, 127 agroclimatic zone. We can produce what the whole world wants it. And digitalized access to inputs, technology, knowledge, skill, agricultural finance, credit, marketing, and agribusiness management to farmers. And digitalized integrated and water management system per drop more crop. And digitalized farm health management for reduction of farmers' loss. This is to have an integrated approach using artificial intelligence, big data analytics, and blockchain technology on human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, water health, fish health, and environmental health. It itself is a $1 trillion data economy. And we also have Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is a vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, of making India a self-reliant nation rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation. We have Digital India program, which aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. And as far as IT at the grassroots level is concerned, I have been closely associated since 1987 from the District Information System program of NIC in 512 districts at that time. I was the project director, and I was instrumental in bringing out relevant vision document and operational document to establish 28 sectoral development database development programs: agriculture, livestock, fisheries, irrigation, health, education, industries, and so on and so forth. And this was the front runner of the present day e-governance program of India. And in 95, I was instrumental in having a national conference on informatics for sustainable agricultural development. And through that conference, I was able to bring out an IT blueprint for the agriculture sector, 15 informatics network program. And in the conference asked for and recommended for allocation of 3 to 6% of the agriculture budget as an IT budget for agriculture. 1995. And then 2005, Government of India come out with national e-governance programs. And national e-governance program on agriculture was launched in 2008. And the 15 informatics network, various title are AgriSnet, AgMarkNet, SeedNet, FertNet, HorticultureNet, Animal Production and Health Informatics Network, and Fisheries Informatics Network, and so on and so forth. And now, digital world is a rise of platform economy, and digital ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world. 10 emerging technologies are making impact: artificial intelligence, 5G, 6G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum computing. And we have Amrit Kaal led up to 100. By 2047, how India will be, it's a new India. And it has a blueprint for operationalization of Amrit Kaal. And we have India budget 2023-24. It has also announced 7 priorities, Saptarishi priorities, and which talks about digital public infrastructure for agriculture based on open source, open standard, and interoperable public good that would help develop farmer-centric solutions for crop planning. And also talks about that to revolutionize this sector, it encourages agri-startups and natural farming. And in view of this, my association with the digital technology in agriculture for more than 35 years, I was also able to give a strong recommendation through the Dr. Ashok Dalwai committee. And if it is operationalized, it can facilitate 2.5 lakh agri-tech startup, one per each gram panchayat, to help the 14.5 crore operational holders there. And we have sustainable development goals, 17 sustainable development goals, and 169 targets to be achieved. If agriculture is digitalized, every farmer is digitalized information system, and you operate, achieving many sustainable development goal is possible and feasible. Agroecological and sustainable agriculture. Agroecology farmer practice sustainable farming tactics that focus on protecting natural resources and land while yielding as much crop as possible. Future of agricultural industry is only through technological innovation. Technological advancement affect all industries, including agriculture. The most revolutionary innovation, including smart farming and also genetically modified organisms. And technology innovation includes GPS tracking, drones, Internet of Things, robotics. The whole world has, operationalized green revolution, gone through green revolution. That is GREEN. The present day revolution which is taking place in agriculture is green revolution, GRIN. Genomics, in robotics, informatics, and nanotechnology. And this is where that technology adoption and digital technology adoption is very important. With the vision of Make in India, government involvement and government adhered innovation and investment is increasing. Now it is the modern agricultural implements and machine manufacturers that need to bring innovation and new agro techniques to modernized farmlands of India. Agriculture 4.0 is the future of farming technology. It's very important. Internet of Things, automation of skills and workforces, data-driven farming, and chatbots. And agriculture is connected future. And how technology can yield new growth, it is to be achieved. And the challenges of the industry is facing twofold: infrastructure that have been developed to enable the use of connectivity in farming, and where connectivity already exists. That is use of infrastructure which is already developed, and strong, wherever the connectivity already exists, we need to build up strong business cases should be made in order for solutions to be adopted. The good news is that connectivity coverage is increasing almost everywhere. So agriculture must embrace a digital transformation enabled by connectivity, digitization, increasing automation, and new business models have revolutionized other industries. Why not agriculture too? We have ecosystem, Society 5.0, which has been promoted by Japan. Industry 4.0, it is being promoted by German. And the time has come that India has to become the partner to promote agriculture 4.0. And on December 22nd, 2022, we had a very important talk on Prime Minister Moni, PM Moni, Wi-Fi access network interface and entrepreneurship opportunities for small and micro business in agriculture. And in agriculture food sector, micro, small, and medium enterprises are key to tackling food security, meeting growing consumer demands, and reducing poverty through inclusive and sustainable development. There are a lot of MSME scheme for agriculture which needs to be digitalized. And in view of this, since we were associated with the doubling farmers' income, and as a farmer DGNIC and the presently present Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the 5 Centers of Excellence, we have initiated these 2 webinar series, and we have established lot of workshop group to operationalize various commodity value chain, be it fisheries informatics network value chain, health informatics network value chain, jackfruit informatics network value chain, one district, one product informatic network value chain, spices informatic network value chain, dairy informatic network value chain, jackfruit informatic network value chain, and banana informatics network value chain, coconut network informatics value chain, coffee informatics network value chain, jaggery informatics network value chain, and so on forth. And I also would like to talk about that. Last week on 11th March, we had the talk accelerating digital adoption and data driven rural cloud initiative. It's very important, and partnering to broaden rural broadband access and create high value services are very important. And today's topic will strengthen that. And we have been propagating. Today's topic is very important. The country should have 2.25 lakh agri-tech startups, one per each gram panchayat. And every gram panchayat has got 29 functional items as per the 11th schedule of Indian Constitution, which include, among others, agriculture, including agriculture extension, land improvement, implementation of land reforms, land consolidation, soil conservation, minor irrigation, water management, watershed development, animal husbandry, dairying, poultry, fisheries, social forestry, farm forestry, minor forest produce, small scale industries, khadi village cottage industries, and so on and so forth. Even though India has established Panchayat Raj institution, local bodies, but operationalization of these functional items, through digitalization is yet to take place. This is where today's topic is very important. And we need to have an agriculture technology startup ecosystem. And since farmer as a consumer, as a producer, needs to be empowered by access to information, inputs, farm to fork linkages, and financing support, etc. Agri entrepreneurship has emerged as a sunrise sector in the post-COVID phase, offering opportunities in agriculture and allied sector. Agri-Tech India has become a booming field and a ray of hope, with numerous startups working with the technologies enabling farmers to maximize their output, solving some of the most critical and challenging problems of the sector, including supply chain inefficiencies, weak market linkages, information and data gaps, dependable access to inputs and financing. Emerging business opportunities are market linkage, digital agriculture, better access to inputs, farming as a solution, and financing. And drivers of startup ecosystem include corporate connect, government support, and 26 states in India have startup policies. And through this doubling farmers' income by 2022 mission, which suggests digitalized value chain for about 400 agriculture commodities. And this is very important background. And we are also talking about Farm Extension 4.0, talks about 12 main areas which needs lot of agricultural information services needed for Farm Extension 4.0, be it agroclimatic advisory, good agriculture practices capacity building, financial insurance inclusion, agri-marketing, commerce, trade and price forecast, non-farm activities and agri-service centers, farm planning and micro-level planning, agro warehousing and cold storage infrastructure, farm extension, which has the central focus, input to dealers, agrochemicals, fertilizers, seeds, vet pharmacies, and so on and so forth, and irrigation extension, research extension, agri, horticulture, floriculture, sericulture, jute apiculture extension, agriculture technology management agency, livestock extension, and fisheries extension. Today's topic is Kissan GPT to Bharat GPT. For the benefits of the participants, what is Chat GPT? It is developed by OpenAI, which can be traced back to 2018, when they released the first version of their flagship platform, the Generative Pre-trained Transformer GPT. A GPT is a language model, which is an AI algorithm designed to understand and generate human-like language. It is an artificial intelligence chatbot developed by OpenAI and has been launched in November 2022. And it has capabilities and also has got limitation, which we can understand from today's topic. And it uses natural language processing and also neural network architecture. And chatbot, it's a chat generative pre-trained transformer is a natural language processing that enables machines to understand and respond to human language, and it utilizes deep learning algorithm to generate human-like conversation in natural language. In short, it is a form of text-based interaction between machines and humans. It is deciphering new artificial intelligence. And there are chatbot for online searches, translations, and generating text or answer to questions. Some of the models which are available are Synthesia for creating videos, SpeechText.ai for transforming video and audio into text format, DALL-E 2 for images, Hour1 for video and audio creation from text, and Midjourney image creation. And there are now a lot of articles and talks are going on, and they are comparing between Chat GPT and Google AI application. There is an intelligence war is also going on with Google Bard, and which is now in the challenger area, and the chatbot is in the champion portion. And we have it is and it is a lot of comparisons, lot of war which is going on, and finally the communities will get benefit out of this research based AI enabled chatbots. It's very important. Why this is very important? Basically, the battle is seen as second generation of battle of search engine, second generation of battle of search engines. And experts say AI is likely to disrupt how consumers search for information online, and which was so far key to Google's business, which with Microsoft's Bing search engine fell considerably short of Google search. Its edge on Chat GPT has led to fears within Google that the former may run away in the battle for AI-powered tools. This is from the published documents. As per the synopsis of the guest speaker, the seminar Kissan GPT to Bharat GPT, AI-driven transformation of India led by Agricultural Information Service, highlights the grand vision of transforming Indian agriculture and empowering government sector through AI-driven innovation. The mission is to leverage cutting-edge AI technologies, foster an ecosystem of AI startups, and establish India as a global leader in AI innovation by revolutionizing the agriculture sector. I thank you, Dr. Pratik Desai, for your visionary statement, and subsequently extending our approach to other government sectors, improving the lives of billions, and contributing to the Prime Minister's vision of a modern, developed nation, the India at 2047. Strong partnership. The synopsis talks about strong partnership with the government agencies, research institutions, established continuous improvement and expansion of this platform. This is where I would like to inform our guest speaker, Dr. Pratik Desai, the 5 centers of excellence established by the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology deemed to be university, namely Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing can play a leading role in continuous and improvements and expansion of this platform. Now let us turn to the address by our guest speaker, Dr. Pratik Desai, Ph.D., computer scientist and entrepreneur, CEO and founder, Titodi, Cognify Studio and Kissan GPT from San Francisco, California, on a very important topic, Kissan GPT to Bharat GPT, AI-driven transformation of India led by Agricultural Information Service. Today's topic will motivate and galvanize the participants watching over telecast through facebook.com Shobhit University India, youtube.com Shobhit University in, and or linkedin.com company Shobhit University for regeneration and acceleration of agriculture and rural transformation at village, and also to establish 2.5 lakh tech startups, one per each Gram Panchayat, in association with the proposed Agriculture Community Service Center in the country. Let us introduce the guest speaker to the audience, Mr. Manish. Dr. Pratik
Yes.
is an entrepreneur, computer scientist, and visionary with a doctorate in engineering, focused on harnessing the power of machine learning and semantic web reasoning to unveil hidden insights from data. With a passion for artificial intelligence, Dr. Desai has founded multiple Silicon Valley startups and is now committed to bring artificial intelligence and machine learning based application to India's underserved agriculture industry through his startup Titodi. Hailing from a family with a farming background, Dr. Desai has recently developed Kissan GPT, a AI-driven agriculture information service and one-stop platform for empowering Indian farmers. Based on latest AI technology from OpenAI, ChatGPT, Kissan GPT represents cutting-edge innovation in the AI field. The multilingual platform supports major national languages, ensuring that the underserved agriculture community benefits from proper information. Titodi, along with the Kissan GPT, provides an end-to-end platform for farmers and agriculture producers with AI and ML-powered tools to improve labeling, marketing, branding, and pricing, and ultimately increasing income and profitability. Dr. Desai's passion for bridging the gap between technology and agriculture in India drives him to create a positive impact on the lives of farmers and the country's agricultural landscape. With this, I would like to invite Dr. Pratik Desai to join international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India to talk on very important topic, Kissan GPT to Bharat GPT, AI-driven transformation of India. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Moni. Hello, everyone.
Yes.
As Professor Moni introduced, I'm a computer scientist entrepreneur, and I think you already listened very comprehensive introduction about myself. And I think Professor Moni already provided very comprehensive introduction about the agriculture landscape and startups and what's going on from the government policy side. So I can avoid speaking about that and focus on what I have been trying to do since last 4 years. So starting with my background, uh, after completing my doctorate, I have been part of many startups. I co-founded few. I've been part founding member in some, and through all my journey in startups, I have always been associated with working with data, knowledge extraction, using machine learning, semantic web, or AI, and creating applications instead of focusing more on the publishing paper side. And as you can see, the first one, we try to achieve sentiment analysis from the social media information. Now all the startups do not have to do anything with agriculture yet, because this is my journey how I reached to bringing AI to the agriculture, because there were so many profound learnings and lessons learned during this journey, which kind of helped me to build Titodi and Kissan GPT. I've been part of IoT consortium, and interoperability paper I published been cited more than 400 times. We also developed a smart wearable before Apple Watch came out, which was using users' data and trying to provide activity monitoring and things like that. And the last company that I was part of, as a part of the founding team that implemented over-the-air solution for automotive updates, and where we did a lot of sensor data mining from the car sensors, and the company got acquired by Aptiv. And I think at that point I kind of realized that I have been in startup world a lot, and in US, and building applications for audience over here and the companies. And because, as Dr. Moni mentioned, I'm coming from a farming background, so I realized that maybe it's time for me to start exploring something where I can take my expertise and build tools for Indian agriculture. uh, so that's where the inception of Titodi came out. Titodi is actually a very common bird in farms. Like when I was kid, I used to go to my farm with my father for watering the crop, and there was a bird called red-wattled lapwing, or we call titari in Hindi. And I had heard so many stories about how it's helpful to farmer about predicting weathers, or like they can caution against snake as things like that. And I thought that could be the really good name to start this initiative. And my goal was to bring AI tools and ML tools for Titodi, but my experience working in Indian agriculture was not really like that profound. So I had to learn, communicate with people, and figure out what kind of application that I can develop. So we had some hit and miss in the beginning, but our ultimate goal was that we can democratize and bring this AI and ML application so it can be reached to ground level. Now, there are some belief that I have in terms of how systems should be implemented, and I'll start with examples. We have lots of agriculture startup in India, lot of initiative in agriculture that has been introduced by government and universities and other institute. There are hundreds of applications and lot of helplines, but we still don't see the information reaching to the ground level. And we don't see farmers using the information. They still rely on the neighbor, and they're still hesitate to call or use the app. Meanwhile, the same India has a 1 billion WhatsApp users, and 100 billion WhatsApp messages are shared every day. And I'm sure that these are not the urban users. Mostly everyone use WhatsApp in India. So it is not that like this farmer doesn't know how to use it, or the people in rural doesn't know how to use it, use a technology. I think what we have missed at some point was how, like, the propagation, the distribution, and the usability, and how from top down, from the consumer side, thinking from the consumer side, and that has a more propagation value and virality compared to building something from institutes and then promoting to farmers. And when they have hundreds of options, it's very difficult for that one applications to kind of spread around. And when we have multimodality and lot of applications, we don't see any one application winning or actually relying information. And if one application, just something like WhatsApp, that we see already, if it doesn't hit the nerve of the community, it's mostly not going to get successful. And this is something we kept in mind. If you want to develop something, you want to make something which is usable, easy to use, simple, and it has a real application value, very quick. They don't have to go through multiple menus and settings to figure out how things work, because education for this community is very important. Because most of the policies and all, they fail because it's very difficult for that to explain and then spread around. So that has been our goal. So when we started, first thing, when after talking to many farmers and FPO, we figure out that many farmers who want to stand out, they want to stand out against someone who is just doing traditional farming, someone trying natural farming, someone's trying organic farming, and they still end up selling on the similar price what the traditional farming has been doing. And they were looking for outlet to sell, in the sense they want to sell something directly to consumer, or they want to find someone who is ready to pay the higher prices. And it's not just the natural and organic, many type of people, many type of farmers or the organization who wants to stand out, want to do proper marketing. So we decided that how about we provide them independent a place so they can host their online store and directly reach to consumer, even their existing consumer, and they find new consumer. And the goal is to give them a independent platform. And what we wanted to integrate AI powered tools all along, while we where we provide the online store, not just come come on the platform, list your stuff and get so customer, because it doesn't work. There are many places people can go, but if you don't stand out in front of consumer, it doesn't happen. So this is where we begin with on the Titodi. We provided them platform. We launched last year. We have like good success compared. We have 305 stores from farmers and some FPOs, and there have been 1,000 thing has been hosted on that, and people are trying to find consumer. But one of the main breakthrough came when the generative AI kind of started coming out. Until now, the AI research domain was like mostly in the lab, like a Google Mind or DeepMind or Meta AI research labs, and the models and applications that were coming out were not very powerful, or they were not very accurate enough. But when the generative AI phenomenon started, the first thing which got popular were the diffusion models. So this diffusion models, thing like that they have crawled through the entire internet for all the images and associated text, and created a neural network model. And when you ask neural network model about get me a astronaut riding a horse, they will create something like that. This picture is generated by AI, not like a designer. You can try, anyone can try this. This is called prompt, like what you ask in AI, and it will generate image like that. So the first version DALI came out in January 2021 from OpenAI. It was not perfect, but when July 2022 the DALI 2 came out, people were in awe because of the accuracy of the results, these images that have been produced by AI. And many people started creating applications. Now with the DALI 2, at that point was there were no API, so you have to go to the platform, write a prompt and create an image. So if I want to integrate something for my the Titodi startup, it was not an easy way to do it. But then in August 2022, the Stable Diffusion, another similar diffusion model for generative AI, came out. And this one was open source, and it completely changed the landscape. It was very small. The Stability AI and Runway ML companies or startup who are behind this, their goal is to democratize AI too. So they have been trying to promote it as open source, trying to make it small, the model small as possible, so everybody can run if they have a GPU in their home. And this one is something where we click, because we have marketplace, as you saw, and farmers and FPOs were trying to post their thing. But we know farmer, they are not photographers, so they will take a picture of something, just post it like that. And if I show that picture to a consumer and say like, yes, this farmer is very hardworking, he has done so pretty good job in growing this crop, and this is the picture. And meanwhile, the same consumer look at some picture by a brand, they have like this tendency of okay, going toward the brand, because like this one is not really good in terms of it doesn't look good. So we realized that this is the point where we can start generating AI images for farmer, so they don't have to go through the photography, hiring photographer, designer, professional. They can just use images generated by them. So what we end up doing, we already have thousands of commodities and commodity varieties listed on our platform. So we ran algorithm, and within a first month of Stable Diffusion come out. This is the time not anyone even in the world figuring out application. They are just playing around with this model and creating their personal images and posting around. We ran thousands of queries for this 100 like 1,000 plus commodities, and created 20,000 plus images. We curated them, deleted that are not good. And you can see these are like just a picture of 900 images. We have 20,000 images, AI generated, royalty free, copyright free. Anybody can just take one image and use it, and it looks really good. And we have pre-mined them, means we have already collected them. So farmer doesn't have to have a GPU or powerful computer to create it. It's already created. You go to platform, select commodity that I want to sell turmeric, and there is 20, 30 pictures of turmerics will be there. You select one. And what we did with, we said, you already have your turmeric listed. We already know your name and the prices and everything you listed. How about we just create automatic label and packaging for you? So you don't have to do anything. Just select a commodity, choose your name, and all the labels are generated for you. And you just have to print it and uh, place it on your packaging. And this was a revolutionary in a way, because now they don't have to even go to anyone to kind of create a label. Earlier, this is the example, either they don't have a label, or the labels are like a generated by label maker, a simple words, like like. And this one, if you place this second one on a shelf, a consumer, or even on a website or online store, the consumer will be not very attracted to buy this one, because it just doesn't look like a consumer. Because as I say in the beginning, I want to start from the top, the consumer, where actually the things happen, and then go bottom. So the third picture you can see is generated using the stable diffusion, or like a pre-trained image. And this looks, right now it's still not at the point, but you can see how like it differs from the first package. And now every farmer and FPO, they just have to go create an account, add a commodity what they want to list, choose a price, and they get like a whole created with the barcode and label and price and the name, everything generated. They just have to print and stick. And we are probably thinking that in the future we can actually start adding more thing with this. So this is what we thought like a good AI application on the ground level, because everybody on like this technology is very new. Everybody is trying to chase the application and use case which are producing more like they're monetization heavy. They want to generate more profit. So they are targeting like a big brands, or like a car companies, or a big clothing brand, to say like you can generate this fancy thing. But nobody's thinking about farmer, because in agriculture they don't see right now that they have something coming out like in terms of profit. So we thought like this is something we can do, and it's already available, and many people are using it already. Now the second thing we thought about, when farmers or producers sharing things on WhatsApp, because this is right now the biggest way everyone is sharing. WhatsApp or Facebook groups, they are sharing their commodity and asking prices, trying to find the traders. And these are the farmer who are not directly going to Mandi. These are the farmer we're talking about, who wants to send out, who wants to sell, and have a, when we say like we want to double the income of a farmer, there are farmers who are trying to already double them. So they are actively trying everything they can to double their income. Like, to take the entire agrarian domain and double their income, it's going to be like a very, there will be dramatical changes we have to implement in the policies. But these are the simple use cases, who are aware, who want to uplift themselves. We already providing the tool. Now this is the something I'll tell a story about. We, from this same thing, the stable diffusion, we created the algorithm where a farmer, instead of posting like any pictures, they can take a picture of their thing, and what we do is we replace the background and replace it with very professional looking thing. So you can see the first picture, someone just took a picture of a ghee, and on the right side we have generated two pictures which are very professional looking. If you look, if you search on Amazon or some website where they're trying to sell clothing, these pictures can be only taken by very expensive DSLR cameras, or someone with the vision of how to take product picture. But this thing can be done by an app, by single click. You just download the app, take a picture, and it gives you 5 options. You choose which one you want to use. And we are not doing any marketing right now. We just kind of launch it, and people who know are using it, and people have started already using it. Like within like couple of weeks we had like 1,000 users without like any marketing. And somehow the app was launched on like a global platform, and the people in Indonesia found out. So there is a Western Java, they started spreading around. They started using for not just the agriculture in application, they started using for all type of application, because it replaces your background, make it professional image. So then many folks reach out, like looking at the example, say, can you we create something for outside agriculture, because agriculture use cases are good, but then there are other people who are trying to sell candles or some grih, and they can also benefit from them. So we expanded the scope of this application, and we added a lot more categories. So now everyone who's trying to stand up affiliate, trying to sell online, they don't have to hire a professional photographer, designer. Just take a picture, win one click, 10 seconds, you have 5 options, you select one, and there is nobody can differentiate between if it's this product is from a big brand or a small farmer and took picture from his farm itself. So this is something we introduced with the Cognify Studio for everyone. Now, then the third thing is the Kissan GPT, coming to the topic, the for why we are here. While we are working with this generative AI diffusion models for images, the Chat GPT or the OpenAI has been doing marvelous stuff in the text-based model. They are called LLMs, large language models. What basically large language models are, they crawl the entire internet, every text, every book, every text that has been produced on every platform, they mine it, then they pass through. I'm going through very like a very general explanation, not very deep, but it goes through the neural network, and there is an algorithm called transformers, who has been introduced by Google AI, Google Brain, and Dr. Vaswani and his colleagues. They are the one who actually did it, and it's that particular algorithm changed the whole landscape of how we see the AI. AI was there before, but it was not very like powerful in the sense. After this algorithm, which came out in 2015, folks started working on creating language models or generative AI. And in recent year, GPT-2, GPT-3, this is something coming out from OpenAI, started becoming more powerful, because now we have a lot of more compute. I would explain that uh, you have a microprocessor in your computer, but then this GPU technology, graphical processing unit technology, it's been around. But Nvidia company, I think we know, I think probably many people know about, they created this GPU with a architecture of many cores. And in 2013, uh, lab from Professor Hilton's two students figure out to use the graphical processing unit GPU that was used for display and the game, and reuse it for AI purposes, because AI neural network training, if it has more cores, it can do the training faster. And this thing started revolutionizing AI in last 5 6 years. So because those GPUs started becoming more powerful, Nvidia started focusing on creating software stack, so more developers and more scientists can start creating better algorithms. And meanwhile, they started focusing their architecture on graphical processing unit. They created another branches focus on AI. And this is how the new AI GPUs are like there were recent announcement in NVIDIA conferences. But the summary is the GPU aligned with the transformer algorithm created this whole revolution that we are seeing. I'm in San Francisco, so I see a lot of startups, a lot of companies being built every day. Every week, there are new things coming out, and all the things are revolutionary. Everything we talk about and see probably going to change. And as the Professor Moni, you talked about replacement of Google. Like there, people are talking about that Google can itself be replaced. Now, why? Because when Google was introduced, the whole web was in web pages, and there were directory services by Yahoo. So You manually go there, I want something in photography and this website, and directory service give you. Google made it easy. You just write word, Google give you list of 10, 20, 100, and you select one of them. Now it worked for 20 years, but now with ChatGPT, which has already kind of done the same thing with the whole entire web and mined those things, created the large language models. Now you ask the specific question and it reply with the specific answer. If you ask what is the best way to take this type of photograph, they will give you answer from everything they have mined and provide the best answer. And that's why what's happening is, if as a instead of using Google for search, if you want a specific answer, you ask ChatGPT. And this is the reason that's what happening, because ChatGPT was very powerful in terms of providing the exact answer. Within 2 months, they reach the 100 million users. This that has been faster than any social media platform which has virality inbuilt. Social media platform people do for social, uh, like they share between their family and friends, and they use it and like, and all the social virality aspect, it's not there. Still ChatGPT got 100 million user in 2 months because everyone who used were blown out by the application and the use cases.
What's the previous
And
slide for some time? Can you
sorry,
put the previous slide? Can you put the previous slide?
previous slide,
Just 1 minute.
this one,
The previous one.
this
Okay,
one.
actually, this is only title. Okay, fine.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Yeah. So this is what is happening, that how ChatGPT within 2 months of its launch got 100 million user. It has a real application, and everybody who actually using it. Now this is also the time that, because we are developing agriculture application in AI over here, when I see in Silicon Valley or around San Francisco, the new startups are coming up for people who are already kind of into the domain, like a designer or marketing person who's writing email, chat gpt helping them to write a nicer email or nice reply, helping them to create resume or proposal. But these applications are not again designed for farmers, or like nobody right now kind of in their mind thinking about creating something for farmers, because they don't see like a quick monetization or profit coming from the application. So just another slide for how powerful chat gpt is. Gpt, the recent version, like very recent, just came out 10 days back, just 10 days back, called GPT-4. That's another language model they created, and it is very very powerful, that it has passed almost every professional exam in US, and some of them it actually kind of score almost 99 percentile, more than average human. And people are talking about like how AI, how it is so powerful, and for many tasks it can generate results that are like even more better than human level scores. And these are the results that kind of it passed the American bar exam, GRE. I think as in India, many students probably who've been listening, the GRE is one of the popular exam. They appear. It crashed every exams, and most of these AP exams are high school, like for college entrance exams, and the courses like so. The summaries, GPT and the AI models which are coming out for generating text are very powerful, and it has many purpose, many use cases, and this is where we decided to create an application for uh, in like farmer, because we have been always in upfront of creating AI application whenever the new thing comes out. Manish ji, can you play this video, this one with the kisangpt.com thing? Yes, from the beginning. It's not playing. Oh, yeah. की फसल लेने का सबसे अच्छा मौसम कौन सा होता है?
ओकरा भिंडी के रूप में भी जाना जाता है। आमतौर पर गर्मियों के मौसम में भारत में उगाया जाता है। भारत में भिंडी की कटाई का सबसे अच्छा समय आमतौर पर जून से सितंबर तक होता है.
So this was just the demo I recorded. This was something very first time came out, and uh, the thing is, you can use it right now, anyone. And this Kissan GPT, we kind of just released 7 days back. It was very quick project. We have to still go to the different version, but within this many days, I have like more than 5,000 people from Indian languages asking question. We released for 9 languages because, as I said earlier, my goal was to create something which farmers use, not something which is difficult to use where they have to navigate around settings or figure out. They just select a language, click question, ask the question in the language if it's supported over here, and reply in the same languages. So what I have seen that everybody started using it, and even without, as I said, we are not spending anything in marketing. This is just like everyone organically telling each other that this is there is an application, you want to use it. And I have started receiving a lot of feedback from agriculture professors. They tried it. They tried multiple questions, like sometime, because the GPT has been trained for the data around the world, so sometime it will give you answer which are very generic and not specific for a location. I think that part will go later in the presentation. But they tried and tasted. A professor tried asking question about what is the best, like in Hindi, what is the best mango that need to be that can be grown in Rajasthan, and he was surprised that ChatGPT answer exact that answer. And then I have received a lot of responses from professionals too, that how useful this application even with the current ChatGPT data has been. And right now, without any effort, I am on a track of like answering 4 lakh questions this year. Right now we have more than 1,000 question being asked. And and now that compare to something that started from bottoms up approach, like Kisan call centers. I don't know how long they have been out, but they saw only 54 lakh calls last year. We sent 100 billion messages on WhatsApp every day. 100 billion. Like application like that which doesn't have WhatsApp interface or an app is still on track of start giving 5 lakh answers. And why this gap? What is the gap? Why we are not able to provide and reach the information to the farmers and everyone? Because the whole concept of designing and creating digital infrastructure and application is not coming from the entrepreneurs, right? The whose brains working to kind of scale to reach everyone, not about like how accurate and exactly information coming from this and what are the how many department that I have to include in this one and what need to approve these messages. Entrepreneurs are designing application that's helpful and reach to the people, because if we reach to the mass, then we can keep working backwards on improving the results. And this is something disruptive thing that I have been proposing, that we design something, even though it solve one use cases, it's useful, it reaches to everyone. For even a simple question, start using it like WhatsApp, having a conversation, and then we can start adding more India specific data, right? So this is the grand vision that what I'm trying to do. First, we want to have, and this is a grand vision I think you talked about, is we start with something one stop application for agriculture and rural India, provide the answers, try to reach just like how other application has reached to the mass and everybody kind of use it. Instead of having 100 and 150 applications in different domain, nobody is going to install and remember which application I have to use for what. Instead of just one application, provide information about everything that is related to agriculture. Now for that we have to bring everyone in the one umbrella probably and have a strong partnership, so a message coming from top can be helpful. Now another thing is UPI is the best example what India is providing the model outside of world, and how that thing has been designed. It was not designed to kind of start from let's get an agreement from every bank and every private sector and public sector. We decided that this is this simple to use interface, very cheap and inexpensive we want to design, and then we want to propagate. And once we start seeing the traction, means how many people are using it and finding it useful, every dominoes will fall under, because everyone goes toward what consumer is using, right? because if they start using it, if they find it useful, then everybody has to fall, because it's a pressure that created by everyone around you, that even some departments are reluctant to share information. Now everybody is pressing them right now. Some of the uh, asynchronous thing we see around, or not, the we don't see collaboration because there is not enough pressure created by everyone around to kind of contribute, right? So the thing just go by status quo and keep going as it is. So this is the vision we are seeing. We want to start with this one. There are billion people in India who are rural or associated with agriculture. If you combine everything, if we reach even a large amount of that population, we have successful application, and the model is successful, then we can next level incubate startups from the APIs that we develop out of it and extend to the other department. Then if the GPT is successful and everyone using it, nobody is stopping us to integrate that one stop application, or make it Bharat GPT, where it can also provide railway information or health or education and all part of policies. We user just have to click and ask, and it will provide the information. And the last stage would be the global AI leadership. And I'll go through all the stages one by one. Uh, so the first vision for us is the Kissan GPT itself, the Indian Agriculture Information Service. We try to cover all the information that has been already there available, and all the information that has been produced by Agriculture Institute and ICAR, and all of them have worked for so many years and created a lot of information. It's just that it's not properly, we don't have a system to provide that information convey. We have systems, we have application, we have call centers, we have a lot of other things going on, but I personally don't see anyone like so successful that we can see the every farmer has all the information they need. They can call, but nobody will answer probably, because that's most complaint I see. Or they will have to go to 2 or 3 layer to even reach to someone in the uh, institute to find the answer. But now if that recommendation is already online, then researcher can keep working on research, and the farmer can just retrieve answer from here. So now if you see, we have supported 9 languages right now, and I'm working on adding Odia and Assamese soon. So we cover like most of the national languages. uh, Next thing is, we want to create and fine tune this information. So there is another concept with large language model is fine tuning. Means right now the models, AI models, have information that has been crawled throughout the whole internet, but we do have like 126 agriculture institute who take care of that particular region. We have different weather patterns, we have different soil condition, and same crop across different part of India has different diseases, different fertilizer requirement, and those information are there with those agriculture university. So what we want to do is, we want to start a small pilot project. First, to include universities, they have a recommendation system. We have MOU with Navsari Agriculture University, and we have discussion with them. They have like 1,000 page recommendation system for farmers, maybe in different languages. So we cover few states. We fine tune the information. So if within a few states, if someone asks the question, the Chat GPT will use information first coming from this recommendation system and complete the text using their model. So this information doesn't have to be like very accurately written, because the AI take care of converting that to the answer. It just need to find out the information about this much. This is the disease associated with this type of leaves or the colors or the bugs, and everything around the chat GPT will convert. And as a stage one goal, we want to kind of reach, let's say, 25% of the farmer or the rural population. As part of this, once we have achieved information service, the same application can start also providing other information like crop logging. If the farmer download the app, create account with his phone number, he can start logging the crop he's taking, and then we know the location, we can start giving them all the information required for this crop. We can start sending the weather notification, we can start sending the market prices, because there are Like my experience with the market prices right now is, if I want to go and find a mandi's information, I have to go navigate through websites and select multiple options, and it gives me Excel file, and then I have to find and search and say, oh, this is the number for yesterday. That's a really bad experience, and I don't expect rural and farming community to kind of figure out, remember, not all of them, but when they have interface and they ask what was the yesterday's price of wheat in this mandi, they have answer, and the answer is coming from the same database. It just, the interface is just a one click in their voice and their language, no need to understand English or navigate. And this is something can be changed, and it doesn't require actually a huge amount of effort. It just requires some agency to provide API access or the information, and we start kind of tuning it. So as part of stage one, we have POC, which you already see we have run. It's running. It's supporting 9 languages, answering all type of questions related to agriculture. Then we want to run a pilot for few states and create a platform which go beyond web. We already have started working on applications. Then we want to also do the WhatsApp integration. So the question can be asked through the WhatsApp. They can record a question, it goes to that particular number, the number reply back with the voice in the same language, and they don't have to call a particular number, remember, they can communicate everything about agriculture, policies, information service through just one number call, and the reply comes back. Third stage, third phase, we want to scale it to the nationwide, cover every language, every state, 126 agriculture institute and research institute, take the data, fine tune them. So now we have an information service, all the information that has been produced under the research and other initiatives now with the AI. And we also store this information in we kind of create a, uh private cloud or something like that. Instead of kind of giving away this information, we can do that. That's kind of policy issues, like I'm not very expert, I'm looking from the entrepreneur perspective. But we can have a whole nationwide launch of personalized agriculture GPT, which answer you exactly about your location, your crop, your weather, and you have information just at one interface. And the last would be the extending, as I said, to the other other extensions like crop logging, and then we create like a one-stop agriculture platform. It has just, and it's not complicated to navigate, it just have one interface, you do everything through one, like a click, and ask question, it reply, it remembers what you're growing, it remembers what you're trying to do, have notify with the weather application. It's like a personal assistant for everyone. And this is the architecture. I think it's kind of a little bit technical in sense, in if anyone's interested, but this is when it looks like the first stage of Kissan GPT, not the Bharat GPT, Kissan GPT. We have the cloud running, which is kind of communicating with the farmers and FPOs through web, mobile, or messaging services. They can use voice or text to ask question or information. We have the data that is already part of JetGPT, and then agriculture institute and agencies. We kind of fine tune our information, and then we have multiple AI models, translation models, text to speech and speech to text APIs, or on-prem engines running, and that depends on the per API call prices, and we can work on to reduce. We can partner with this thing. One of the important thing I think I forgot to tell is the OpenAI itself saw the project. They reached out and they have provided official support to the Kisan GPT project, and they will provide any technical support that will be needed to make this project as grand as possible, to take it to the every level of India and agriculture ecosystem. OpenAI is ready to provide technical support, and they believe in the social impact projects, and they are excited to work with us. So that's a like a good, within a 10 days we have kind of touched many nerves already. Now uh, phase zero, the POC, the demo application that I saw, what we did, I'll go a little bit detail part. So we try to create a simple interface. We don't want to create a complicated design where someone has to figure out how to do it. Like just a button, select language, a button, and it answers everything. Because every time we add more friction for our user base, they are farmer, their job is to do farming, or the rural, where we have seen like different level of literacy rates, right? So we are not expecting someone, a tech oriented person, they want simple interface, something, WhatsApp, which has a pretty simple interface, and everybody is like using it because it is simple. They're using it because it's simple and easy to use, not because it send message, because there are many messaging application existing before WhatsApp. But WhatsApp is powerful because it provided something simple. As part of POC, we have done integration with GPT. We are doing translation. So if you try, it's doing very seamless translation between languages, communicating with API, and also doing text to speech translation, and this creating audio. We have collected feedbacks from all, like from Agriculture Institute, from agriculture professionals, and even users. And as I said, we already got a support from the OpenAI to take it on the next level. The phase one pilot, my goal is to launch in 3 states, because that will give us enough information, or agriculture information and other policy information, to create and fine tune the information, the data. We want to create more secure and robust application interfaces. We don't want this thing to be created as a like a quick POCs. Then we want to complete the mobile application, WhatsApp integration, and once we integrate the data from the agriculture universities, we can, for this 3 states, start providing even further. Like, even if you right now we are 70-75% level of accuracy, with this information we can reach to like 99%. Like, nobody can ever say 100%, but still better than what we have right now. And then we will, there's a part of phase one, we want to support like a 1 million query per month. That's like a 10 lakh queries. So 10 lakh question and answer, if our system can support that, we know that this can be scaled to support something on UPI level in the future. The phase two is the scale part. So pilot, POC, pilot, scale, and extension. In the scale is something where we cover whole India, something that can be launched on national level. It depends upon what kind of institute associate with us and want to kind of take it further. If not, we as a startup will keep working on our from our charter. We want to refine the text to speech and speech to text interfaces and engines. We have found out some initiative which can also further reduce the amount that per query that we have right now. We want to establish the support pipeline in case something fail, like some education videos and the marketing things, so it can be kind of converted in a simple, more simpler way. And infrastructure is something we have to look, because once we start going 25 million queries per month or even more, then we need to have a proper infrastructure, data centers, and bandwidth and the backup and everything for supporting this many queries. And the last one would be the extension. As we talked about, we want to create farmer FPO's account, so customized information can be delivered according to what they're trying to do, and targeted. So it's like a notification, a closed loop system. The weather notifications, they can start logging their crop, start finding more information about the crop. A disease is being spread, they get notification, this disease is kind of prevalent in your area, you want to use this. Then the market prices example, I already explained about how we can actually deliver the latest mandi prices, so they don't have to search around. They ask and it gives you what was yesterday's price, what was day before, and future we can expand to give average. So what is the usual price in April month for wheat commodity? Or you can even specifically ask the which part of the month the wheat give you best prices, something like that. you know those kind of anomalies, can AI can also do that. And later on, the agriculture policies and the scheme related information, we can also start relaying those information, so they know if new policies coming from government, this can be delivered back to them, or new scheme or other information. And this is the timeline how we want to execute. So when we are developing the pilot one, once we finish the development, we want to launch the pilot. Meanwhile, start developing the phase two for the nationwide launch, infrastructure scaling, and fine tuning from the other information. And once we have the phase two going on, as a like a nationwide launch happens over here at the end of the phase 2, we want to start developing the extensions to integrate mm, weather and pricing and other things. Now, the next stage, let's assume that a Kissan GPT being used by 25% of agriculture in rural India. What would that put us? Like, what would be that? We, if we cover 25% of rural like India, we are covering 250 million people, or people who are, that's many people are using an AI applications. Means they are getting right information on their hand. They don't have to wait. They can at night 2 o'clock click the app and find the answer. They don't have to wait for the institute or call center to open or university to open. They just have information anytime. And that, what does that do? That's something which very much like a UPI level transformative and disruptive thing, because this can enable a lot more startup ecosystem that you have been talking about, like creating one startup for every gram panchayat and all. Like they need to have use cases. Like you need to have use cases to start a startup. Startup won't survive if you don't have use cases and customer. And if one gram panchayat is fighting for customers, how many customers a gram panchayat will have? How many people you can afford to have in your startup if your market size is 500 people, right? So we need to figure out application beyond that. We need to create brands. We need to create, if your gram panchayat is creating a startup, maybe create some specific, like, if you go to Europe or US, there's like every village or there are some specific agriculture brands. Like, oh, this is a famous cheese from this is a famous grape from here, or strawberries are famous. Why can't we have that, right? So if we do that, and these startups then kind of vertically associate with this particular branding, and then we can start even exporting. And that's where actually a startup can sustain. If startups in every gram panchayat selling and their market size is the 500 people and they're selling each other, that's not a startup, it's a Karyana store basically. We don't want more Karyana store and call it startup. We want to actually have application where the use cases go beyond India. We have other markets open up, right? Because ultimately the agriculture has uh, production and consumption. So end to end, this is what the whole thing is. All the profit and everything is lies in between, right? So every gram panchayat, I think this is something can actually enable more startups. And then, as I talked about the pressure created by the use cases, if the user are using it, if there are millions of people using every day, and if one particular region doesn't find the right information, there will be pressure created to the institute to provide the information why they are not supporting this thing, right? So the pressure come from there. Pressure doesn't come from one department calling each other. Pressure come from the people. Just like why my area institutes are not giving me the information, why these people are very good, right? How the development started in India, like, okay, one state was doing really good development, we want development in every other state. And that's how probably the cover government got amended, because like, okay, everybody looking for development because the pressure came from the people, right? So we want to create pressure from the people who start using it and find the application. Then every domino will start falling in. Everybody will have to do it, because the paper people from pressers change, like, everything. So, and then incubation, that's what we can do as part of this thing. And the expansion to other sector, as I said, it was difficult for me to find market latest mandi prices, right? But then think of someone with a different literacy level trying to find the train schedule, or is how far, like, I'm starting from home and I want to know how late my train is, right? I don't want to have different application for that. Or I want to find a new education policies, or what is the health, what is the sanitary things that I have to take care of for this disease, or things like that. Those information, if they start coming from one platform, we don't, your user, they don't have to download 100 different things for one information coming from the government side, something like that. So we can start expanding this thing. The idea is same, the platform is same, the scale is same. What we need is involvement from different department to provide the information they already have. We don't want to spend a lot of time in data warehousing, storing and all this thing. We get the data is generated, we just plug it in, uh, and do it, and then we figure out how we store this mine data, or when we create embedded vectors databases. If we invest our infrastructure in older technology, because I have heard people and they are still talk about technologies which are 2013. In 2023, ChatGPT is writing code. ChatGPT, you can ask to write a code for some application, it will write you the code. GPT-4 is automatically even correcting the code, and we are still talking a lot more about 10 or year old technology, because people are not figuring out, and this is going to change very drastically in coming month, when people think that everybody can write a code, or every technology that has been using, or the government or any other institute who are trying to implement other data mining related or software application related uh, projects, they are old already, right? The world has moved on in last 6 months. So, and I think I see the way we have implemented UPI, I don't think that we don't have willingness from the institute side or government side to take risk, and uh, to start a new projects. And I think this is something can actually place us to the global leadership, because other governments and other institute are still in the dilemma of what to do or not, because this is new technology. And if we start like, this is how we can do this, but if we start doing this thing and provide a model to the world that how the government information can be relayed to every part of the community on a different literacy level in a simple to use interface, then we can actually create a global leadership case, where we talked
I'm
about
in a meeting. I'll call you later. Then.
so how other, like, we can share the knowledge, we can share the information, and how we implemented this thing with other African nations or the developing countries, because they all struggle on the same level. The GPT can provide you on an English level answers, but not everybody speak, like, everybody speaks English. And the rural and agriculture domain and the demography we talk about, they're mostly still talking into their regional languages, and they still, even they have a different understanding of English, but they still want answer in their own languages, because that's, like, give more understanding of the problem. So this is something which can take us now as part of the global leadership. The Kissan GPT itself, if you focus on the Kissan GPT application itself, right now I have 9 Indian languages, and 7 foreign languages including English. And with the current model and current AI capability that I have found, this many languages can be also implemented today. There are many languages like German and all, which are common, and it will be easy to do that. But Afrikaans, Swahili, Malay, Thai, Indonesian, I already have it. Actually, Indonesian and Japanese I have, Portuguese, Spanish I already have it, because I was thinking about Brazil, because it's a brick nation, Indonesia, uh, and what else? And Portuguese. Portuguese is Brazil, right? And Argentina. I got call from Argentina. Some professor from there who used it. He gave me the correction of the translation that I was using. So it reached already to that. I got a call from Africa, someone working in Ghana and South Africa, and they asked me if they can do with Swahili and French and Afrikaans, and I will probably going to explore how we can do that. I got someone from France actually to asking in the French, like, if you want to do this thing. So the even though this Kisan GPT has a like a name which is like a Hindi Devanagari, it has reached to all part of the world. People have from Indonesia, I have got comments. So uh, if we want to take AI leadership, if you implement a model like UPI, if you implement a model which can scale and other countries can adapt, I think it can give us really good chance to actually establish global AI leadership. And the last point would be the related to GPUs, right? The GPUs are the oil for the whole AI movement. And I have seen rumors about, like, if AI is so powerful, it's gonna change so many things. uh, US already placed embargo on China for the chips, right? We know about that. And if the applications start kind of become so disruptive, there may be a chance that the GPU embargo can be placed. And I think I recently tweeted that India, we had this time where we have to ask for or beg for cryogenic engines and jet engines, because we were behind. Like, we are proud of what ISRO and other institute has been doing, but we still have to develop ourselves. If GPU technology and all, if there's embargo or something, that we don't want to be in a place where we have to keep asking US to give us GPUs, right? because if this is so transformative, we need to start taking leadership. We need to start working right now to create our own data centers, acquire and the GPU technology. Like the manufacturing is difficult, but still we have so many AI engineers who are Indians working in OpenAI, working in big NVIDIA and all other big companies, Indians, right? In 1945, we have Homi Baba and Sarabhai, like couple of people working. They brought the knowledge back to India. We have thousands of Sarabhai, Homi Baba working in Silicon Valley who can bring this. So if the willingness is shown from the side that we want to bring this GPU technology or AI for native applications, I think this is a good time to start. We should not wait for embargo to come. We should not wait for be in a position where we have to rely on someone to provide GPU or AI technology. If these models are banned outside of US or things like that, what are we going to do? What are the backup models? What are the backup technology that we have? I know many IITs are doing modeling and they are working on it, but the GPT level model right now only OpenAI. Like you talked about Google Bard, which is not to the par the GPT-4. It's still they're 6 months behind. The people saying they're like behind, but the model like GPT-4 require a huge amount of computation and GPU farms to actually train it. Uh, I have to see. I haven't seen in India right now. We have that many native GPUs that we don't have to rely on data center outside to train, and it requires like millions of dollars. So, uh, for global AI leadership from the Kissan GPT, we will also have to make sure that this computation resources are acquired or at least reserved. So, in any case where something happens where AI start changing the global dynamics, we still have some independence and we don't rely on others global superpower. We don't want to be in that place right now. So I think with that I'll conclude my talk. uh, I hope it was informative and to the standard that you have set, Professor Moni.
Thank you very much. You can come out of the presentation mode if you close. You finished
Yes.
it. Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you very much. And it was both a learning process, education process, understanding process, and thinking process. For and you also raised a lot of very pertinent questions and also raised problems. Let me start from the back to the front. You started about the if embargo takes place,
Mm-hmm.
and it cannot have a PL 480 480 situations for India. That was the foundation for green revolution.
Correct.
Now another revolution is green revolution, genomics,
Correct.
robotics, informatics, technology. That's what I have been propagating
And
as a
GPU is going to
person.
be key for all of them. GPUs for
And
genomics, because
I
for
just
quantum.
I know, I'm very happy that you raised it in this very important webinar. In 2020, when 2020 when WhatsApp issue came, many professors, many former secretaries to government of India asked me, Prof. Moni, you are a former technocrat and former DGNIC. What is your viewpoint? And WhatsApp is putting a lot of conditions and so on and so forth. I told him that if you have got a freely download a WhatsApp app in your smartphone, you just to delete it. And in unfortunately in this country we have so many IITs, so many NITs, so many triple ITs, so many central universities. 4,500 engineering colleges have computer science department. 40,000 non-engineering colleges having computer science. 1,500 deemed to be universities. And there is no coordinated research for a national problem.
Right.
How nation has to come out. Today, after Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, when he became a Prime Minister, now many things has become a nationalistic view. And and when this WhatsApp message came, even triple IT, it was exclusively set up in 2000 to generate products for India's self-reliance. Now tell me that what is their status as of today? When our Prime Minister banned 250 Chinese apps after the war, Dokla war, and we not even have an single app which is equivalent to what has been banned till now. Many people say that we developed many things, but you come to the make it available. You say that this is much better than the apps which are available, which were banned. And and then I raised a lot of issue at that time. Then the office, former secretaries to Government of India, they asked me, Professor Moni, why don't you generate a note? So I generated a note and sent it through the Chancellor of the University, sent it to Prime Minister's office, the Defense Minister, Honorable Defense Minister, Education Minister, and IT Minister. And we need to create a digital assets if a self-reliance has to be achieved, Atmanirbhar. One is that we have to have an messenger tool in 22 languages, equivalent to WhatsApp, SMS. And we need to have in Gmail, 75% of the transaction in Gmail goes from India. And and then we don't have a very effective video streaming tool. During COVID situation, work from home came into picture, and we have so many rural schools. And now talk about now the internet connectivity getting to each gram panchayat and so on and so forth. And COVID situation has created a larger divide between when we adopted online teaching, and many things have now is getting developed, but the gap has to be bridged. It should be on demand basis. And and then I said it that apart from these three, we have to have a large scale data centers in the country, state of the art, which should facilitate our boys and girls to develop apps to upload rather than going to other app store and Google Play, and depending upon the download, they will become a millionaire. And government, India need to have number of state of the art data centers everywhere. And these 4 points, and then sovereign control on the data centers. So this I put it as a need to develop digital assets and also sovereign control of data centers. Which is very essentially, I felt so happy you have come out forthrightly that what is needed to make India on the top. You put it that GPU is oil, like data is oil, to convert the data into what you have demonstrated today with the technology which is emerging. And you also very rightly said it that if like USA, you do not know tomorrow anything can happen, because now they have understood that in what direction India is moving. And we are now looking into how we can, we were able to solve when the other countries were having, because of the Russia-Ukraine war, their oil-related, issues, but India didn't face any problem. We have got our own solutions, our own, interactions, relationship with the countries that we are not joined with anybody. And this is where that, it will be certain that the countries which has now, how they have banned their software tools in with respect to Russia, same thing can happen for other countries. We do not know. So it is very essential that we have to develop a lot of AI tools. You have so many IITs with so many decades of experience, so many central universities with the decades of experience, so many triple ITs with so many decades of experience, and so many engineering colleges which are older than IITs with so many experience. Now the investment should go from Government of India, irrespective of public sector universities, and the private sector universities are looked down in India still now. And this situation has to go. Students are students, whether they are studying in public universities or private universities. The taxpayers' money should be equally distributed among the students, who are studying in different higher education institutions to help them to bring out their innovative experiences. And this is what I have been voicing in many programs. I'm very happy that your 4 stages, very important. Kissan GPT, I have as a person, as a mathematics student and a computer science, MTech computer science from IIT Chennai, 76, 78 batch, and had an opportunity to bring out lot of innovative development in the country. First, I was the project director for 512 districts computerization way back in 87. I put the district information system program, 28 sectoral database development programs. The visionary document, if this would have been operationalized as it was given today with the AI technology, data analytics, and various new tools which are coming, India would have been a database based planning and achievement development. Today you have a lot of tools, but you don't have an appropriate grassroots level raw data for planning, for understanding, modeling. And then 95, another opportunity taking agriculture as a, they have, government of India gave it, National Informatics Center gave it to me, my organization. I gave a blueprint, 15 informatics network blueprint. And we started looking, I started, seeing that for operationalization, no looking back. But towards the end of when I retired as a DJ in 2013, I thought that I must have traveled more than 400 districts in the country. And I thought that it's a time to, bridge the gap through technology in agriculture, ICT technology in agriculture, to bring all the engineering graduates, non-engineering graduates to get into agriculture through IT. That's why I'm very happy that this university, it's a private university, which was able to invited me as a Professor Emeritus to establish these 5 centers of excellence. This is the first center in the whole world to have a center for agricultural informatics and e-governance research studies. We launched an MTech level program in agricultural informatics. And why I'm telling in very detail is that there has to be a lot of, understanding is possible, feasible between your efforts and the 5 centers of excellence which this university has created. It's the first center for agricultural informatics, e-government research studies, and center for agribusiness and disaster management studies to facilitate digitalized agriculture commodity value chain, and MTech in agricultural informatics, and to train agricultural science graduates and engineering students and non-engineering postgraduate students to get into agriculture. If in this course, if this your effort is also included, and we have achieved it in this country. And this is where now the realization is that many now engineering colleges and some of the universities wanted to establish Center for Agricultural Informatics and e-governance studies to launch MTech level programs, which is essential. And that's why I in my introductory remark also that after going through your synopsis, I also put a in a preamble that we are here to help you, how we should go, how we should collaborate with each other to see to that, because this is the first university, and as a person who was involved in IT and agriculture from bottom up level to the national level, and how this has to go, because we have to digitalize Indian agriculture system. 7 mission mode programs. That's what it was come out with the Dr. Ashok Dalwai committee. Now also what we are doing is that to propagate. Now I conducted these two webinar series. One is on order to facilitate 32 member countries, and also national webinar series on every Thursday on doubling farmers' income. We completed both the webinar 215 webinars. Like yours is the 215th webinar, 108th edition in this webinar series. And in order to undertake pilot projects, we have initiated smart tribal farming, a cluster of 10 villages in Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. We work with the local NGOs. to work on smart tribal farming. And with this, this can, the government of India also has got a plan to go convert every tribal village as a smart tribal village. Our idea is that how to integrate agricultural value chain into globalized in this region. So to successfully implement the digital technology in agriculture recommendation by Dr. Doubling Farmers Income by 2022, Dr. Ashok Dalwai Committee report, it is essential to operationalize Kissan GPT. It is very important, and we have to train. We have to undertake capacity building of associated people. And you said it. We would like to have a partnership with educational institutions and so on and so forth. I always used to say, India is an agrarian economy. Every higher educational institution has to undertake research work related to agriculture. Other commodities come later. And this is the this is the line in which I argue, I propagate, I undertake. That's why we thought that in order to help 14.5 crore operational holders, in order to make India as an annadata to the whole world, and since India has got 365 days of sunshine, and 127 agroclimatic zone, and 85% of the farmers are small and marginal farmers, it means that whatever we do, which can, the technology can be transferred to South America, Africa, Asia, and Pacific. It works very well. They're all also small farming. And this is how that we thought that let us undertake agricultural informatics as a discipline which brings in all the technology embedded.
So, Professor
And,
Moni, I have like one point.
let me
okay.
let me complete it, then
Okay,
and
okay.
I'll tell you that. So, and this is that initiative which we have taken, and we are now on a mission that, along with the pilot projects, along with which we work on, and many a commodity value chain like jackfruit we have taken. India is the number one in jackfruit production. Tripura, West Bengal, Assam, Odisha, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and except some few states, but jackfruit has to attain global value chain, and it is a circular economy, and nothing goes waste, and it can bring in climate. It can be a climate resilient agriculture, jackfruit, and it is highly nutritional, lot of medicinal value, but it is not getting used properly, more for post harvest losses. And like that, we have initiated like that. This is where this commodity value chain will have a large scale up implementation of chatbot, this your Kissan GPT, and it has to come out and to help these 14.5 crores operational holders. So we have, in this thick process of bringing in a new discipline called agricultural informatics, and this Kissan GPT and GPT AI tool, it's very important. And that's why many activities have been undertaken. And I would like to request you that how we can cooperate with each other, collaborate with each other, so that in India, in the mission which we have taken, that establishing 6 lakhs agricultural community service center, and then 2.5 lakh gram panchayat, where this dedicated BharatNet will be available. With the high speed BharatNet connectivity will be available, and how to promote this technology, and whatever we do in agriculture, it will have a place in other developing countries, at least in RLO member countries. So I would like to hear from you, Dr. Desai, that
Yes.
how to go about it.
So
Both of us.
I think I have many points. Maybe some of them may be like a criticism, or maybe something like how we, like, you talk about design thinking yesterday, and the way we are trying to tackle the problems. I think the problem is actually there, why we are not able to reach it. Like, we are not asking why question a lot. We're like, how we can reach to every gram panchayat, or how we can digitize them, or what we need to do. But we never thought that we never have to teach them how to use WhatsApp. We never have to teach them. We never have to have a gram panchayat or committees or some institute to teach them. They all learn. We never have to teach them how to use phone. They use everyone, like every app. They know how to play games and all the Candy Crush. Like we never have to teach them. So they, it's not that they don't know how to learn. They know how to learn. It's just that we never able to ask question why, that like why they are not using the thing that we're building. Like the thing is, the one application can reach, or one network, like because they know they solve a basic problem, basic need in simple way, and then you start from there. If we try to solve problem like that, then we can do, instead of like having a targets of numbers in terms of like creating institute. It can be one solution coming out from some person who's touching the nerve, who's solving the basic problem in simplest way. We don't have to then try to solve existential, the things that are already implemented or already working going on. Like you talk about BharatNet, I don't know what it is, but I've been in India a lot recently, and Geo has covered everything. Like why are we trying to solve a problem that has been solved already? Geo covers everything, right?
Ge- Geo call.
Geo, like the
Uh-huh.
mobile, right? It covers everything. It covers all part of that. People use provide the cheapest internet available in the whole wide world. Like people still don't believe in West and other countries, like how we can provide this cheap internet. It provides. So if it the problem is solved already about providing internet, then we should not even touch that part. We should not even work on replacing WhatsApp. It's solving a communication problem, and it's doing their job. People are thinking we need to find out the new problems which are actually not reaching. Like something this is like that information service that we talked about, like easiest way that we don't have to create so many institutes and so many like branches and committees to reach the information. We start from the consumer, what they need, why it's not reaching them, create something, and then integrate everyone around. So I think the questions being asked by everyone are wrong. That's why we are not actually from, it's like we are asking IITs to generate applications, right? And it's a research institute, the education institutes are not designed to create application. Education institute are designed to if they want to create new application, they have to incubate. They just have to give, like how Stanford did, like how Silicon Valley, like Stanford did played really huge part in creation of Silicon Valley, because they say like this is the research area, say Stanford research park, and will provide you, will incubate you, will find out something, and then it created one startup. It created environment for entrepreneurs, like the California provided environment about non-compete frictionless environment. So one startup came out, there were two founders, the one split, create another startup, then he find two new founders, then they create, and this is how the change started. And their goal was, because there was no friction from the government side or the institute side, or incubation environment which has no politics. Their goal is to just give, if failing is okay. That is another thing that I have seen, like a failing is not good thing in our culture, and that's where people not try new things, right? So if the incubation has, if there is an incubation and I have to get a two or three recommendation from dignitaries to get the incubation grant or something, then there is something need to get out, right? If we remove that part, then and then we can do. Otherwise we can spend lots and lots of money, and every 5 years new project will come, it fail, another one will come, because there is no frictionless politics less in, like I think the current government is trying to work, and I think everyone appreciate that part. They want to create the rate tips, and it's like need to be direct, and this is what we have to do, is like a something going from direct. And the UPI is the example. People still cannot figure out or believe that we have twice amount of digital payment transaction than China, right? We do like, I don't know, the number is so huge. Like China does some 16 billion transaction per year, we do 45 billion. America, US is like far behind, and the UPI solved because they asked the right question. So I think the whole system need to come under kind of like a start design thinking process, or the entrepreneur thinking process need to start like that, and then we can solve the problem. Now in terms of the agriculture, the collaboration part. So like for me, like I've been reached out by the people in the appropriate government bodies to say like can we take this further. And when we go for the pilot part, that we need you said there is a agriculture information service program that you have started. So that means the students, they're working, they have agriculture background and also information service background, correct? Is it right to think like that?
It is, we would like to bring it, agriculture, agriculture technology plus digital technology.
Correct. So
We have to bring in a new breed of people to understand,
okay.
both fundamentals.
So when we talked about AI model fine tuning and or reinforcement learning by human feedback, so these are the couple of field where AI is generating output. Now we as a human need to be kind of judge about is it right or wrong. We can fine tune from the data that has been already generated by many institutes, but then every time when we create a model or fine tune it, we need to also have people in the loop who create some data sets about, let's say, from every region, every university, some information service like a agriculture information student create a list of question and the list of answer that need to be checked every time a new model kind of get trained and things like that. And their job would be checking out if the model has been answering or the benchmarking the model, the results are good or not, those level thing, those level, that's where the student can start getting involved, the fine tuning of the data and checking and benchmarking information. This is something where I see a collaboration because that require people who do understand agriculture, a student, and who do understand and good with information services, right? So they can come up, they can run some script, they know answers which need to be right, create some model, create some benchmark, and then we kind of feed them back so we can improve, keep improving the model and the results that we already have. So this is something where the students can collaborate, something like that.
No, not only the students, we are also, since we work with at the grassroots level institutions,
Hmm.
and we like to bring in technology enabled solutions at the grassroots level. And we are signing MOUs with a lot of non-governmental organizations working with farmers, the grassroots level, and try to see that how digital technology in agriculture should be adopted. The main 7 mission mode programs, which has been recommended, it is in the part of the government recommendation, and how to bring it for operationalization at the grassroots level. And that's where that this wide undertaking has been taken, this exercise. And each talk we talk about today, talked about this 2 hours discussion, has given a lot of understanding for many people who will watch this video, this talk. And this is how we do it in every week in 2 webinar series. So we attract a lot of youths to get into understanding this technology discussions, and also to join to establish necessary startups to solve problems at the grassroots level. And the capacity building and competency building is very necessary. Now this is an era where we are seeing that next 10 years how adopting AI tools and the big data analytics will facilitate our Indian agriculture system at the top level, how the small and marginal farmers can be modernized, digital transformation in agriculture systems, and the 22 languages, which I'm very happy that you are already tackling the situation, bringing in local language interface. I'm very happy to note that and see that, and this is very important, and that's why now complete value chain, 400 agriculture commodity value chain means if we built up an advisory system with respect to the particular commodity, each commodity extension system is different with respect to 127 agroclimatic zone, soil conditions are different. Even we have to undertake that use of we have initiated a pilot project, project proposal in association with my good friend from Australia, Dr. Girish Sautrapalis, that use of artificial intelligence and big data analytics to ensure optimal nutrition in soil and harvested food to minimize human disease. So it takes a total value chain, that how and this is where your Kissan GPT will be helpful. You have 14.5 crore operational holdings, and if you would like to ensure optimal nutrition in the soil and the products which come out from that soil for animal, for a plant also has to get everything from the soil. Animal also has to get everything from the land, and human being, that how to minimize the disease. So this, when we discussed about it in through this, he made a presentation. Now it is emerging as a very good research project to be undertaken at the grassroots level, bringing all technology. And in this one, if we also built up this Kissan GPT and a model which we built up based on this one, which it gets replicated, without any other, intervention to all the operational fielding, not only in India, but also in with the customization, it goes to other parts of the world. So this is how the realization understanding comes out with the participation, like people like you. So this is just to give an example that what type of area in which we would like to work on it. And like that, many problems can be, when you work with the grassroots level people at the grassroots level, you will come to know about it. That's why I thought that, like, agriculture economics and agriculture statistics, agricultural informatics as a domain has to evolve for agriculture systems. And that too, irrigated system, it has got a different technology adoption. Rainfed system, different technology adoption. Tribal agriculture is sustainable and natural, and it has got a different way of cultivation process and so on and so forth. That's why it was put it under 3 category. So I would like to bring in this Kissan GPT in along with the operationalization of digital technology in agriculture as a main component in the 7 mission board programs which I put it. I will also send you that 7 mission board programs as PowerPoint, which you will understand. And let us take pilot projects on based on, and let us try to build up, your approach for operationalization.
Okay.
So with this, and I'll be very happy that if we collaborate with each other and see to that this is, this university is the first university to concentrate what all the technology which is needed for rural India to shine and smile and roar, agriculture. And then 63 million SMEs in the country. In each SME is maybe 5 people to 1,000 people, and they need to have technology enabled, the CEOs of the SMEs. So with my vast experience, that's why the Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application has been put in. And in this country, e-governance built up. Is not, everybody thinks that by having a website development is an e-governance. It is different. And informatics with the e-governance standards approach is more important. And that's why we even launched an MTech in informatics and e-governance to motivate the people to understand. And then it is not only use of technology tools, but anything solution to be built up, it needs to have a fundamental, understanding, structures. And then health is another very important, where that your area is very important. You take health, that this is that human health, plant health, animal health, soil health, human health, water health, and fish health, and environmental health. And using a GIS technology, AI, and big data analytics, if you are able to map it on a village, and we don't have to go for a lockdown hereafter. And it's a $1 trillion data economy. And India should take a lead for the whole health data analysis for the whole world. Why can't we do it? And if this type of one Kissan GPT, if we also bring it out, integrated health informatics, a GPT for integrated health informatics network value chain. That's why I run a separate program on health informatics network value chain. And we have, allopathy has been digitalized, but not Ayurvedic, not Siddha, not Unani, not homeopathy, not naturopathy. And these are all contribute a lot of things that. So that's why, this is very important for reducing the farmers' loss on farm. So this health informatics network value chain alone is a $1 trillion data economy, which India should get it, should lead it in the in the times to come. And that is that mission in which I'm trying to spend. And I'm very happy, Dr. Pratik Desai, for you to find a time to participate and strengthen our mission on national webinar series on doubling farmers' income by 2022 and international webinar series on open source digital technology for self-reliant India. So I would like to hear from your last remark, final word, and then I will close the webinar. Over to you, Dr. Desai.
Thank you, Professor Moni. I think my summary is the AI is the next revolution of anything. Like we have seen from the beginning how humans started writing on paper, papyrus. Then the printing press came when with the Gutenberg printing press, the knowledge that used to be with the human or the one person or the in the locked down by one institute, because you have to always copy the knowledge, change, because now you can copy the same book in multiple times, share it around. The knowledge started sharing after the Gutenberg press. Then this internet and the social media came, where now you don't have to be author to write and spread knowledge. Anyone can just go online, write, express, provide opinion, right, wrong, misinformation, we don't care. But every human got something to say. And what coming with AI is everything that we said, everything that we produce as a human race or throughout the this many like 5,000 years from the written history has been learned by the AI. It can produce, and so many things that we were not everybody were able to produce. Now everyone from different literacy level can produce information assisted by AI. So we are going through a different era of like a human race, and as India, we need to be prepared. And one of the most marginalized community has been the Indian agriculture. And my objective has been, if we have done things with the UPI and another government initiative where we have been able to skip the whole computer and jump to the mobile, we have been able to skip all the other payment system and go to UPI. India and Indian people are ready. We don't have friction with the technology. We adapt with technology very fast. It just needs to be presented and prepared in the way that it has a purpose and it has application and use cases. Then we as Indian, we are not like afraid of adapting to new technology. And this is a very high time that we all have internet, we have access to the AI, and we should not kind of delay for another 5-10 years to figure out. And this is something that we have been trying through the application that we are building, that we bring this AI information to everyone. The marginalized India need to stand up and uplift it first. And if we uplift billion people, then it just open up lot of opportunity for people who are in technology and everywhere to create startup, build ecosystem. We are already self-sustaining in agriculture and farming, and we can also start becoming self-sustaining in technology and other leadership use cases. So I think that'll be all from my side. I think I have spoken a lot already.
Thank you very much. And I would like to thank the participants and our guest speaker, Dr. Pratik Desai, who has addressed from San Francisco, USA. And I would like to thank our Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency Secretary General Ordo, Honorable Vice Chancellor, faculty members, and other participants for participating in this very important program. Let us scale the Kissan GPT to a higher level. And he talked about 4 stages: Kissan GPT for transforming agriculture and rural sector, and AI innovation hubs, and expansion to all government sectors, and global AI leader. And Shobhit Institute of Engineering Technology, deemed to be university, Meerut, with its 5 centers of excellence, are with you to join in this program to take it up in India and all RLO member countries. Thank you very much. POC, pilot, scale, and extent is a very important, 4 keywords. Let us make India, self-reliant. Adopt open source digital technology for self-reliant India. Thank you very much. And let us meet next week. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll close the webinar.